You.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah,
I hope I'm
great.
audible.
Yes, perfect.
All right. I see myself as a host. That means I should have screen sharing capabilities. Very
Oh,
well.
yes. It's not
Yeah,
okay?
it is okay. It is
Okay.
working well with me. I hope so. Thank you, Austin. Thank you. It was a great presentation. And I hope everybody enjoyed here. So, thank you, Soleil and her DAO team for inviting me here. My name is Pooja Ranjan, and I am with Ethereum Cat Herders. I'm also the co-founder of WIEP, Women in Ethereum Protocol team. So I'm very much inclined towards education and willing to help in whatever we can do with respect to helping new people get on board to Ethereum ecosystem in particular. Today, I'm here to talk about Ethereum improvement proposals. Let me quickly share my screen so I can share my presentation. Is my presentation visible?
Yes, perfect. Thank
All
you.
right. So we are going to talk about Ethereum improvement proposals. Ethereum improvement proposals, in my mind, are the building blocks of Ethereum ecosystem. We do deploy EIPs, core EIPs in particular, when we come up to a network upgrade. This session is about developers. So I'm going to talk about all sort of standards. Those are available in Ethereum community, whether you are a protocol developer, application developer, or roll-up developer. So I'm trying to focus on the process governance and provide you as much as resources possible. So in case of any questions, you can reach out to right people, get your questions sorted. If you are planning to document a standard for us, you know from where to start. And there are a few tools available and you can make best usage of the tools available in the community. We know that EIP basically documents design that we try to share with the community. It can document new feature, it can share about the process, and it can also share additional information that may be needed by the community, even if it is not a mandate for the community to follow, but just for general purpose of information sharing. We do add those set of information in form of EIPs. This is a high-level structure of EIP, which most of people have seen it before. So we divide all these proposals into three types: meta, standard type, and informational. So meta is something that we try to put into process. Like we define something in meta proposal, and developers community especially are supposed to follow that. And based on those guidelines, the entire ecosystem is built on. Standard track contains multiple EIPs categories: core, networking, interface, and ERC. For now, we will get into more categories later on. But core is basically a set of proposals which are deployed on Ethereum mainnet. Networking and interface are there to support client and APIs, RPC related stuff, and ERC mostly are application related. Earlier, I was talking about informational EIPs. Informational EIPs are set of proposals, as I mentioned, that they are not a mandate, but they are very helpful. I would like to make a mention of EIP 2982, that was Serenity Phase 0. This proposal basically informs community about people may have heard about ETH2. So there was phase decided about Ethereum's progress. So what is ETH2, how we move forward with this, and what are the sharding related information? All these things can be read with the proposal 2982, though it is not a mandate, it's just for information purposes. On a very high level, you will see this as the standard process of standardization. When someone wants to document a proposal, it is in draft status, and we try to read those proposals. It is read by community, it is read by EIP editors, and many others. So that goes into review. Later on, it moves to last call when author thinks that the proposal is ready to be finalized, and final is the last status. Just taking a small pause here. I'm sorry, I'm not able to see any Zoom screen right now. So if you have any questions, perhaps I will answer them after this presentation.
Yes, no problem.
So you can also see a few other status, which are kind of corner cases, but they do exist. Stagnant and withdrawn. Stagnant is something where proposals are not in active pursuit by the author. So they are left there. However, when an author decides to withdraw the proposal, that they don't want anybody to use this proposal and move it forward, it is moved to the withdrawn status. Stagnant proposals can be brought back to life. It can go back to the status from where it was moved to stagnant. And mostly it is done by an EIP bot that we have established in our GitHub repository. Living is a special status which is provided to only a very few EIPs, but it means that the proposal is never meant to achieve the final status. That is mostly meta proposal, and we hope that this proposal keeps getting updated time to time so we can coordinate with the ecosystem and continue with the process of standardization. Some of us here may have heard about the big news of ERC EIP repository split. This is documented in Meta EIP 7329. Well, EIP and ERC process are mostly aligned, but there are minor differences, and we will get into what are those differences. There was a time when people started discussing that we are growing in number of proposals and we might need to separate these repositories so people may get notification as needed. Now we do have different set of developers, application developers and protocol developers. It is good sometime that they interact and they learn about what are the new proposals, but mostly people who are interested in development on client side or implementing those proposals on respective client, they may be more focused on EIPs, not the ERCs. Thus, Light Client, Matt Gannett and Dano Farine documented this proposal to specify how we decided to divide these repositories. This is the structure. So earlier, we had only github.com/Ethereum/EIPs as one of the repository. Now we do have EIPs and ERCs as separate repositories. Most of the structure is same, except we can see the ERC is on the right side. That means they will be managed separately in a different GitHub repository. However, core would be going along with networking and interface. There are certain proposals which are interface by category, but may not be very much useful for the client side. So they are kept on both the sides. Now we do have two different sets of editors because we would want specialized people to look into these proposals. So these proposals can be moved forward a little bit faster. We get to standardization and make them available for the community to make good use of that. As I mentioned, that there is a very slight difference between the core proposal and rest of the proposal process. So in general, the process line stays the same: draft, review, last call, final. Here between last call, final, other than core, the number of days are defined. It is called 14 days wait period. We put a proposal into last call and we assign them that last call deadline as 14 days from whatever date it moved to the last call. However, this is not valid for a core proposal. For core proposal, we try to move it as per the movement of the proposal. So when a proposal is draft, it is being discussed by client team. It may be moved to review when that proposal is considered for inclusion in any network upgrade. The moment it is considered for any network upgrade, we do create a Meta EIP in which it is added, and these proposals are picked up by the testing team for DevNet testing. Developers testnet is called DevNet. Then there are multiple rounds of DevNets. If people are following, currently we are in Pectra and we are in DevNet 3 and moving towards DevNet 4, where we are hoping that specs would be more or less finalized. And those specs will be moved to the public testnet. So public testnets are testnets where we expect community to participate. However, with DevNet, it's only limited to testing team and the client team who may participate and check if the protocol is working as expected. There are different public testnet. We may have heard about Holsky. Earlier, it was Sepolia. I think Sepolia is still there for this one. So we would get to know about these proposals when they are moved to public testnet, and that's the time period when we move these proposals to last call. Between last call and final, there is a bigger gap than 14 days. It can be from 21 days to 1.5 months, could be more than that, depending upon how comfortable developers are on moving these EIPs from testnet to the mainnet. That's why we see that there is a little bit of process difference, but more or less they are same. We were moving fine, just fine. We had EIPs, we had ERCs. But in November 2023, roll-up proposals were proposed. Roll-ups project are basically layer 2 scaling solution where we expect it helps Ethereum network for scalability challenges. Transaction cost on roll-up projects are generally very slow, so it is widely adopted. And we hope that we provide some standards for different roll-up projects so they can also work in sync. Like we have EIPs, core EIPs for Ethereum network. We would want to create roll-up RIPs for roll-up projects. So we came up with the third repository, github.com/Ethereum/RIPs. It basically contains high-level structure the same, more or less. The process also same. But now we see 3 different set of repositories and obviously being managed by 3 different set of editors. As Ethereum is growing, complications are being increased, but that's what editors are doing here. That's why Ethereum cat herders are helping with minimizing it and trying to help solve the challenges that we are facing. Moving into the governance side, how we are solving these issues, how we are making decision. This is one of the biggest question I have always been asked. And I would like to share here is like there is no one person, there is no one organization who may be able to answer this or who may be able to make the decision. However, it is a collective decision and we invite participation from community. I'm taking an example of one of the challenges which were existing. The challenge was EIP number allocation. Earlier, the normal process of allocating EIP number was whatever issue number or pull request number is there for documentation of that proposal will be allocated as EIP number. But there are some notorious parties who try to play around these numbers, and what they started doing is like making empty issue to grab a good number or fancy number. I don't understand what is the value of that, but people think that they contains high value, and if they have a good number, their proposal may work well. That's not the case. However, they kept on doing, and our editors were determined to solve this issue. So they came up with the idea of sequential EIP number allocation. So now nobody can get a number which is there on the pull respect or pull request or the issue, but that has to be allocated by the EIP editor and associates. We decided to start this EIP number allocation with the EIP 7500, but people were like so cautious about it. So they really wanted to grab good numbers. Even 7500 was grabbed by some parties. But later on, our editor decided that these number would be reallocated. And I think that was reallocated as 7496. Whoever received 7500 as the EIP number received 7496. Same for 7501. But now on, you may see that all EIPs number are sequential. And this is also helping us in bloating off EIP numbers. It's not that whatever we see as the current PR is the number of EIPs with us. These are the decisions made by EIP editors, but how would we know that whatever editors are making is right thing to do or not. Are they trying to be authoritarian? Are they trying to take help of community? What they are doing, what they are not doing. For that, we documented this EIP 5069. This is a living EIP where we try to update it and design the structure based on the current requirement. This EIP talks about the mission of what EIP editors are doing. They define the structure, and that also talks about membership. Like anyone can be an EIP editor. They just need to share the goal that other editors are sharing, and it is the good of Ethereum ecosystem. I would highly recommend whoever is interested in becoming the reviewer or the editor for these proposals, give it a read and reach out to us on different community meetings. I will also be talking about those community meetings. So the decision made for any pull request to be merged or not merged is not taken by an individual. An editor cannot just make any decision on its own. We have came up with a process called call for input. It was basically proposed by Sam Wilson, who is an active editor for EIP and ERC. And he proposed that in case of contentious proposal, uh, I'm giving an example of contentious proposal. So in general, the policy is if a proposal reaches to final status, we may not be making any changes to that proposal. But if we receive a pull request to make changes to a final proposal, then that has to be moved to call for input. Here, the call for input is for all editors. They have to come and share their thoughts. If we get a majority decision in saying, yes, we want this proposal to be merged, then only it will be merged. And if majority editors do not agree for that, then we cannot merge. So this is a call for input in which we try to provide all sort of information. As you can see that there is a checklist of what all information are provided. Once this checklist is filled, we keep it open for 1 month to collect input from the community as well as from the editors. And based on that, we make the decision. This is called keeper of consensus that we try to follow with the EIP editing process. There was a concept of working group. It was an interim concept, but that helped us get to the different set of meetings which may be needed in order to support different repositories. So what is this working group? The working group proposed that, okay, fine, we are having different set of meetings. We are discussing different set of proposals, but how do we manage that? So for core, like core proposals, we have EIP editors who may be focusing on the ACDE call and ACDC call, execution call and consensus call. These happens every Wednesday at I'm so sorry. These happens every Thursday at 1400 UTC, alternate weeks, where all these core proposals are being discussed. The discussion is about if the proposal can be included in the network upgrade, yes, how, why, and all these sort of information. Same goes for ERC. When we are making standard for application layer, we do discuss these proposals, and there is a meeting called all ERC dev meetings. For wallet-related proposals, Sam Wilson started this all wallet dev meeting that happens once a month, and there all wallet developers joins. They share their thoughts, ideas, and proposals about active proposal into consideration. There are multiple account abstraction proposal on table, and they discuss like what they want to implement, why they want to implement. And sometimes we do call breakout room meeting when we have to bring this discussion on the larger scale with the larger group of community members. Similarly, for roll-up related proposal, we do have roll-up meetings. So this is high level. The working group, those are involved with the development of these proposals. I know we are having a lot of developers, potential developers. So I would want to share all the resources which are around. There would be many more than what I'm sharing here today, but I want to at least provide the basic information that could be helpful, useful. In case you are not aware, you may want to follow these, and this would at least bring you up to the speed. So if you are new, you would want to go to eips.ethereum.org that lists all the proposals that we have today. I was just checking, according to stats, we have 854 EIPs and ERCs and RAPs and everything, total number I'm talking about. And you would find most of them, in fact, all of them over here. So please do check out eips.ethereum.org. As I was mentioning, living is a special status and it is provided to very limited number of proposals. We do have 2 meta living right now. EIP 1 talks about the purpose and the guideline. You would find all the information about types and categories over there. You would find the list of EIP editors in case of any questions you have for the editors, and many other information. If you're planning to document a proposal, you would also find the EIP template that I believe would be helpful. But in case you have any question, we may have solution for you. We'll be getting there. Meta EIPs generally talks about what is going on in the Ethereum ecosystem. Other than the 2 process, we have Meta EIPs for each upgrades. On the left-hand side, you see the list, which is a little bit smaller. It's not that big as compared to the number of upgrades that we have on Ethereum, because in between, we started documenting all these things as a .md file at execution specs. But now we do have execution and consensus specs. So we decided to get back and have the Meta EIP back on list. So for reference, currently we are into Prague and Electra. We do have Meta hard fork. EIP number is 7600. And for the next one, Osaka 7607. And soon we should be getting something for Amsterdam as well. Talking about tooling, I like this website. We started with a HackMD file where we started documenting how many proposals gets in to a GitHub repository per month, how many issues are created, how many proposals are being reviewed, and just to understand basic structure of like how good are we doing and how much support do we need from the community. This website, eipsinsight.com, provides all these data, and that comes up with toolings, which is helpful for EIP editors to evaluate how they are performing. Like, are they able to manage the workload over there, like the number of proposals getting in? And time to time, we ask a community to volunteer and support these editors to review these proposals. In general, that is a good practice because these proposals are made by the community for the community. So your feedback is always valuable. Talking about educational resources, we bring an educational series called Peep and Eep. This is available in the form of video series and also available in form of podcast. You can find it at eatcatherders.com/podcast, where this is in audio only form because the developers mentioned that it is good to follow a video, but it would be helpful if we can get an audio version of that. So you can follow either of the version and learn about EIPs. This is about an hour talk with the author where we talk about the overview of the proposal, why that proposal is considered as a standard, if it is going into an upgrade, why is it getting into an upgrade, and what are the pros and cons. We do invite other community members to come and ask questions from the authors directly, but I believe this is like really good resource of learning about any proposals. Other than that, we organize 2 different meetings. EIP editing office hour is organized once in 2 weeks. That happens every other Tuesday. The next one is tomorrow at 1400 UTC. The benefit of joining this meeting is that you can ask questions from editors directly. Like you have made a pull request, you are trying to understand how your proposal will be moved forward in the standardization process. If you have doubts that whether I can put this link in my proposal or not, any sort of questions can be directly asked by editors in EIP editing office hours. And if you are not an expert documenter, you want some help around that, you can always ask these questions. If you would want, you can just add it into the agenda and the editor would be able to answer that. Similarly, for making any decision in process change or how we go about merging and not merging any PR is being discussed in the EIP meeting. Right now, it happens once in 1 month, that is on Wednesday at 1400 UTC. But there also you can find all editors. If you have questions or comments or suggestions to improve the present process, I would highly recommend you to join these meetings and share your thought process with us. These are many other resources where I think you can get a lot of information. All core dev meetings happens every Thursday, once for execution, once for consensus client. You can join the ETH-R&D Discord, participate in your related EIPs or related conversation you would want to. If you want to understand the research idea from which you can bring out a proposal, ETH Research is the place. And once a proposal is in place, we do encourage people to participate at Fellowship of Ethereum Magician, where people can add their thoughts and authors can update their proposal based on the suggestions collected by the community. So Ethereum cat herders are trying to support in multiple ways. We do facilitate meetings. We do create educational content. We communicate what's going on. We talk about network upgrades. So many things are around. If you have questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to reach out to us. This is all our social media handle. You can join our Discord channel and find at most of the social media at ethcatherders.com. Thank you everyone for listening me. And if you have any question, happy to answer them.
Thank you very much. It was a great presentation about EIPs and all the processes behind the Ethereum protocol. So it's an important thing if you want to contribute on an open source project and open source. Yes, just is everything about open source. And yeah, I have a question more about your career to become, because you are really inspiring for people. So how you enter into Web3 and especially in the research file, yeah, inside Ethereum.
I'm sorry. Was that a question for me? Can you please
Yeah,
repeat?
it's more about your career, how you enter
Oh, my career.
Web3
All right.
and especially on this file. It's quite interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you so much. I mean, I just joined Ethereum Cat Herders as a person who would be documenting Ethereum nodes for developers meeting. And these developer meetings gives us a lot of insight about what's coming up for the Ethereum protocol. That helped me get involved with the, EIPs. And then we started thinking about EIP process, education line, and things like that. I think we do have bounties for people who are interested to join Ethereum cat herders for documenting nodes. And I believe that is a very good segue to get involved with the Ethereum community.
Oh, great thing, yeah. Indeed. Yeah. And basically, ERDAO, the Finance Guild, and Ethereum Cat Headers are organizing as well a study group about everything on Ethereum protocol. So if you want to learn more about it, I don't know when is the next cohort for the water.
Currently, we are with cohort 2, and the meeting happens every Monday at 1400 UTC. All these information with that cohort is available on Discord channel of WIEP.
Okay, so just to let you know, yeah, it just is on the website of ERDAO, you can find here Women in Ethereum protocol. You can explore the GitHub, and here if you want to contribute, so you need to find the form, and then we will be added inside the Discord and all meeting. Yeah. So don't hesitate to take a look at it. It's a great opportunity to start, and as Pooja said, you can get bounty if you want to contribute and start. So yeah, it's a great way for you. So do you have any other question For the slide, I will put it inside the recap of the May, and yeah, people learn a lot of new words. Yes, I can understand that. Okay, so thank you everyone. Yeah, just I will share you something more about wait. More about the speedrun Ethereum. So Austin talk about it. Oh, um, yes, it's the Austin vibe. So for example, here you can just set up your environment instead of I can do it if you need the help, but I think everything will be clear here. So you can do it. The first challenge is quite simple. So don't hesitate to start with that. You have until Monday to improve your score and do some challenge. And yes, it will be necessarily yes to get a certification. And yeah, don't hesitate if you have any question. Everything is on Discord as well. So yeah, thank you everyone for the first session. So this one was the big one. So the next one will be for 1 hour and 45 minutes of coding session, but it will be more slowly. Austin was very fast, but we can we can. It's like the energy of Austin is normal. You can see the recording on YouTube, and yeah, I will put the link soon. Hope you enjoy your first session, and see you tomorrow, everyone. Have a nice day or good night. Yes. Bye bye. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.